Hello, Steve White, Checkboy 89 for Steve Arts 89. Well, hot on the heels of Star Trek Discovery being nominated for GLAAD Awards, we have Star Trek Lower Decks and Star Trek Picard, two other shows paying to use the Star Trek license, which have been nominated for some NAACP awards, and I hope I said that right. Yep, I always want to say NCAAP, I don't know why. But yes, NAACP. The 52nd NAACP Awards. The nominations are out, and Star Trek Lower Decks has gotten 2 nominations, and Star Trek Picard has gotten 1. Now, Star Trek Lower Decks is not a huge shock because the main character is a black character with a black actress, and the captain on the show is a black character with a black actress as well. So it's like a black series. So of course it's going to get some attention from the NAACP. So it's not a surprise, and probably earned, because frankly these shows only exist for representation. So God knows they should get some acknowledgement for that. It's the only thing they're doing right. So we have to give them some credit for that, because no matter how bad the stories are, no matter how much they do not represent Star Trek and its former writing or themes or anything, they certainly do have black actors and they have black characters. And they are certainly focusing on representation and diversity, and unfortunately they're focusing on that more than they are character and story and themes and so forth. But they're certainly delivering so far as that, so we have to give them some acknowledgement for that, and they're getting it. GLAAD and the NAACP both, nominating the same year. And what surprised me was finding out that it's been 23 years since Star Trek has been nominated. I was really shocked. I was really happy to find out Nichelle Nichols won in 1967 for her role as Uhura. I knew she'd been nominated for things here and there, but I didn't actually realise she'd won. I know that's where she met Martin Luther King Jr. I'm not sure if it was at the ceremony or if it was just at a meeting, because she was involved. So I was very happy to find out she actually won that year. But she was also nominated for Star Trek 4, which I didn't realise. Because I didn't realise she was nominated for any of the films, because although she was a member of the cast, she didn't have a huge role in those movies, really, her character. I mean, she did, but she didn't. So I didn't think they would recognise her over actresses, in other roles that have had, bigger roles in the movies, or that were specifically about race, as opposed to just because she's black. So I was surprised she got nominated for Star Trek 4, so I was happy about that. I was kind of surprised that, it just occurred to me, I assume she wasn't nominated for the second and third years of Star Trek because she didn't win, but she might have been nominated and just not win. They didn't mention that she was nominated or not, so I need to go back and research that. I'm curious now. But the other nominations, there were only 3 other nominations, and I'm kind of surprised about this. Avery Brooks got 2 nominations for Deep Space Nine. I'm not sure what years. I didn't look into it that much. I'm guessing 1993 and 1994, I'm guessing. Because the last nomination was for Alfre Woodard for her role in First Contact in 1997. And that was the last nomination that Star Trek got from the NAACP. And I'm kind of surprised. I'm sure there were some people who've directed Star Trek who were black. I was sure of that. But maybe I'm wrong, or they just didn't acknowledge them for some reason. Maybe they don't acknowledge Star Trek as much as they should because it's science fiction and it's not taken as seriously as drama. But so far as representation, it isn't so much about the writing and directing and acting and the character. It's more about the representation, and so I'm kind of really surprised that they haven't been nominated for that one. But then I think what was happening, they had Voyager, who only had 1 prominent black actor, but he was a Vulcan. He was sort of one of the main sort of characters. Like, Tuvok was involved in a lot of stories. I thought he would have gotten at least 1 nomination for acting. I mean, when you think of how fewer roles there were for black actors. I mean, there were a few, I guess. Obviously, there were enough to fill up their scorecard without putting him on it. But I sort of thought he would have gotten some attention, at least for representation, because of positive representation. He's obviously a highly intelligent, highly educated, highly scienced out dude. I'm like, why wouldn't he be seen as a good role model and so forth? Because he's not playing a stereotypical character, and I sort of thought that would have gotten some sort of attention for being. I don't know, I guess I put too much status in sciencey. Apparently, sciencey doesn't matter. I always thought it got people nominations. I've always thought it got white people nominations. So because it's harder to play science, to get that techno babble and to make that believable, just like playing doctors. I think it's harder. So I'm kind of surprised that Tuvok didn't get Tim Russ didn't get any nominations. But then I look at Enterprise. The black character on that was Travis Mayweather, and I've met him. He's very nice, but he himself will sort of say he didn't get as much. His role wasn't as big as he would have liked it to have been, and his character wasn't involved as much as he would have liked, and didn't get to do as much as he would have liked. And he only had 4 years, so he didn't get the full 7 years like the other shows. So maybe his character would have got more time in later seasons. But I'm kind of surprised he didn't get a nomination as well, because these are good, positive role models. These are examples of, in the future, black people will be equal. There won't be racism anymore. So I always thought that Star Trek sort of element would have gotten more attention and more nominations. So I'm not sort of having any issue with the fact they've been nominated or anything. I'm just surprised at how little Star Trek has been nominated, because Star Trek has always had representation and diversity, and usually in the past better representation and diversity, because it was more understated. It wasn't virtue signalling and look at us, we've got, black people everywhere. And it's like, well, so you should. Why are you acting like it's like... And then you want to say like it's an achievement because it's been done before, but then when you realise, the issues with casting and people being hired on shows and that, it is a thing, and it shouldn't be a thing, and I don't want it to be a thing, and I don't sort of acknowledge it being a thing because I don't want it to be a thing, but it is a thing, so I have to acknowledge it as a thing, because otherwise it comes off as racist, like I'm acting like that doesn't matter, like then the struggle isn't real, but it is. So, and the other nomination I almost forgot was for directing, and that was, because my screen's gone off so I can't see her name, the lady who directed the first episode of Picard, where is she? Hanelle Culpepper. She was nominated for Outstanding Directing in a Drama Series for the premiere of Picard, Remembrance. So, and I'm trying to think of the pilot and the direction, and I guess it was okay. I didn't really think about it. It didn't really stand out to me. So obviously it wasn't bad. So I guess why not? And what's the other nomination? Oh, the actress, of course. God, I nearly forgot. I got so focused on my surprise that Star Trek hasn't been nominated more for the NAACP that I forgot to actually talk about the nominations. Dawn Lewis, who plays Captain Freeman on Lower Decks, and I actually did think she did a great job with the character. I liked the character, although I had issues with the fact that she was basically using nepotism to get her daughter into Starfleet and onto the ship, and basically saving her and rescuing her and giving her chances and opportunities that other people wouldn't have gotten, and she shouldn't have gotten, because she got them because her mother was an admiral. I found that really offensive, and I didn't think a Starfleet officer would do that. I felt it was very un-Gene Roddenberry human-like. So I wasn't really happy with that. But that's a story thing. That's the issue. That's an issue with the producers and the writers, not the actress. The actress did a really good job with the character, and some of I think a couple of the lines I actually thought were funny were delivered by her, actually. So she's the only one who got a laugh out of me in that show. I laughed like 3 times out of like the 10 episodes. And I know one of them was how she delivered something. I'm sure of it. I thought she was funny either way. So, yeah, why not? I mean, I'm looking at the other actors, and I haven't seen their shows. Like Hollywood's Architect, I haven't seen that. Kippo and the Age of Wonder Beasts, I haven't seen that. Doc McStuffins, I haven't seen that. So a lot of these animated shows I haven't seen. Because she got nominated for outstanding. Where is that? For voice acting, basically. So it's something specific to animation. So obviously her competition I'm not familiar with because I don't watch a lot of animation. And so far as the other nomination for Lower Decks, I mean, it's outstanding animated series. Again, I haven't seen the other shows. I haven't seen Central Park. I haven't seen Doc McStuffins. I've seen She-Ra and the Princess of Power. And again, it's one of those shows where the quality isn't bad if it was an original show, but because it's a show that's actually part of a franchise that we recognise, that we know, that we have expectations of, there's a fan base with expectations, and it falls short of that, you sort of think lesser of it. But then if you actually just look at it from the point of view of someone who isn't a fan, who doesn't know what the show should be, they probably wouldn't see any of the flaws and actually see it as a quality show. So I can kind of see how these shows are getting nominated and getting the attention that they're getting, when, as a Star Trek fan, I can see how bad they are. But to a normie who doesn't really know Star Trek, they probably seem pretty good. So I've waffled on quite a bit. I can't believe this is a 12-minute video already. I might re-record this. I don't know if this will end up being put up, but no one watches me anyway. I shouldn't say that, because that's insulting to the people who do actually watch my videos and that. But yeah, not surprised they got nominated. Glad they got nominated. Surprised how little they've been nominated in general, Star Trek. And we'll see if they win, because I don't think anyone's won since Nichelle. But I might actually do a bit of research on that, because I'm really curious if there are other nominations, because they just mentioned the last nominations, but they mentioned all of them. Maybe that was all of them. I'd be really disappointed if that was all of them. Next Gen should have gotten something for Michael Dorn and Geordie. I mean, God, they love LeVar. He's been nominated for other things. So yeah, I'm just going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye.